Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome back to the channel. I am RegularEV Dad, also known as John. Hope you're well. So, most of the time, the content is focused on the Volkswagen ID4. And we recently had the family-centric review of the Ford Mustang Mach-E, and I hope there will be more content on that in the future. I did like the car, just doesn't fit with the lifestyle we have, but I did like the car. Things I didn't like overall, more positive than negative. And a great platform for technology development for an electrified future. Now, the reason I mention this is that, and I mentioned this on the channel before, the Volkswagen ID4 is not my first electric car either. My first EV was a 2014 94 amp hour, I don't know why they did that, but whatever, BMW i3. And I also ordered the Model 3 when it was announced, and I was in line with all the other Tesla people to put my money down for the Model 3. But ultimately, like a lot of people, I was very disappointed when I saw it was a sedan, and that was just a no-no for me. Just no practical benefit whatsoever, not having a usable storage area in the back. I thought when I saw the design it was going to be a hatch like the Model S. Anyway, my lease came up on the i3, and just so you know, the reason I had the i3 is it was a rounding error. I worked for Hewlett-Packard Enterprise at the time, and HPE, and I'm sure other people, but also Google, had this sweetheart deal with as BMW partners that I could get the i3 for no money down. It was like $3,500 down. That was a deposit. That was maximum FSD, and all about the leases, and $169 a month. And it was just like a rounding error. And I still got back the state money and the PG&E money back then as well. It was a rounding error. It was just the cheapest way of getting to work. I love the car. BMW will allow you to extend the lease by a number of months. I think the maximum is 40 months, and I know I extended it to the absolute maximum. Because when my lease came up, my commuter changed, and I'd gone from driving all the way on the other side of San Jose and up to Palo Alto to just going a few miles down the road to Milpitas. And I mean, literally, I think my round trip commute used to be, well, I don't know, 25 miles. Anyway, other things that have changed since then is that my wife no longer worked. She was, no, that's not strictly true, but she was no longer going to work on a regular basis and was mainly focused on raising a blessed little minion. And so I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a car at that point in time. And so I got the very much older, the same age, 2014 Fiat 500e, and I've had a lot of fun with that, and it's a great little car. However, my God, John, have you been talking for 4 minutes and you've not got anywhere? Yes, that's what I do. We did have another EV in the household, and that's what I'm driving today. And so this is my father-in-law's. He does live with us. Hi, Jerry. 2019, Chrysler Pacifica Plug-In Hybrid. And we as a family have put a lot of miles on this. We have taken this down to LA. We've taken this up north. We've taken it. It's got 40-odd thousand miles on it. And this isn't the first, well, it's the first hybrid Pacifica. It's the second one that Jerry had. He previously had one before. So I would today, as I'm going to be using it, my car is unavailable to me, and that's for another video. Later on this evening, I'm going to shoot another episode of Comedians in Cars Going to Gigs. So, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if only for that playlist. I thought I'd talk about this. It is, the reason I brought up my history of cars is that because, you know, we're a family, at various points my father-in-law did drive my car. Whether it's the BMW, whether it was the Fiat. And one of the things he really liked about them was that he didn't have to put gas in them. And I can see that as being a highly attractive thing. You know, gas prices, right now, you know, today is the 15th of September. And right now, this Chevron gas station that I'm stuck because people don't know how intersections work, regular is $4.73. I actually just filled up my wife's car, it was $4.39, but you kind of love to be angry. It's just one of the, it's great to be able to hit on the horn and just make things worse. Is there any greater, feel like a man. I realize you don't know what I'm talking about because I haven't got the forward-facing camera on today. I digress. He loved the fact that I never put gas in it, and then I mean, and if you know, he's one of those people who drive where we live. You have to drive everywhere. And if you've heard me, if you've ever seen my comedy act, I talk about the fact that he's one of Costco's best customers. He can't drive by without topping up the gas tank, and if he's there, he might as well get through these lights. He might as well go get a chicken, a roast chicken. We don't have millions of live chicken. But he really did. He liked the poking, you know, the squirt and go of those cars. But he really liked the things. Because for all the driving he does, he also complains about how much it costs him. So one day we were rather surprised, and the circumstances weren't brilliant, but he turned up with a brand new Pacifica Plug-In Hybrid. Now let me be clear. I have no love for Normanton Chrysler. I want to make sure I fully enunciate this. They are the stealership of which we speak so badly. They are, in my honest opinion, the scum-sucking leeches of which car dealers have a horrible reputation, but in their case is entirely justified. They are black Mustang, and they have put a red stripe right down the middle, over the roof and down the back. We like that. That's very nice. Mustang Mach-E. If you're driving that and you're in the Bay Area, I like your Mustang. That is very, very nice. Yes, Normanton Chrysler. Just the worst. This man drives 30,000 miles a year. He was confused. He is 80 years old. He doesn't always, and they signed him up on the spot for a 10,000 mile per year lease. And then when we went back to question it, just scum-sucking pigs. I never do business with them. And if you want to read the Google reviews about them, there's some real funny ones. It's almost like there's a professional writer with a dry sense of humor involved in the process. But I digress. Let's talk about this car. Because this is a really good car. It has some shortcomings when it comes to electrification, but it has some really good features. So first of all, what is it? Well, this minivan can take 7 people. There is a third row in the back that pops up. We don't use that too often, but even when it pops up, because the seats come from up and out of the back, you still have a deep well of a trunk. You can't do a luggage run, you can't do an airport run with 7 people and all their luggage. but you sure as hell can get 5 in, 5 people and all their luggage without any problem at all. This particular version also has the built-in, I think they all do, the built-in roof bars. Great feature. We've put roof racks on this a number of times. It is the most boring. Just noticed he's got a chip in his window that needs attention. Anyway, another $4 pack from Amazon needs to be purchased. It's quicker and safer than quicker, not safer. It's quicker, easier, and cheaper than Safe Light. Just do it yourself. It's not a big deal. Stop it becoming a crack. Now this one is fully tricked out, and I'll show you some exterior shots. It's got some blinging wheels on it. I'd say it was absolutely perfect for the east side of San Jose. Let's get ready and get over to the HOV lane, or as I like to call it, the recording lane. Yeah. California Transport Authority. So, this has got the 3.6 liter engine that is common to the entire range. It's boring, it's old, and it works. And don't get me wrong, it's not the most fuel efficient thing, but they have improved it over the years. And in fact, when the battery runs out, we'll talk about that, our average miles per gallon at highway speeds on this thing is around 36 miles per gallon, which isn't good, but it's not bad either. Siri, we're not talking to you right now. In terms of the interior, the inside of this vehicle, this is a full leather vehicle. This is the LX Premium spec. It does have adaptive cruise control, which I am a fan of. It doesn't have a huge amount of auto correction, but it's good enough, and it does, on those longer drives, it is a relaxing place to be. This has got, I think it's the 9-inch screen, touchscreen. It does feature Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, albeit only wired, but at this point, wireless didn't exist, and it's absolutely fine for us. It does. This particular one does have the upgraded speaker system, and it's not Bang & Olufsen. It's one that begins with a K. Google it; it'll tell you. Full leather trim throughout. Captain's chairs for the 4 principals: driver, passenger, and the back row. And then leather seats as well in the pop-up 3 that come out of the back. Now, like I said, we did have a Pacifica beforehand, and one thing that had that was really useful was the Stow and Go system. So the second row of seats would actually fold down into and under the floor, making all of the space back there usable. That was fantastic. But that is the compromise with the plug-in hybrid, is that the battery sits right across where those seats used to go. That's where they located them. So let's talk about the battery. From memory, it is an 11 kilowatt usable battery. It might be slightly more than that, but usable is 11 kilowatts. And what that means in real life is 30 to 32 miles of regular usage. Now, there's no tuning of it. There's no, I just want to use electric, or I want to hold electric. And no. If there's battery, it will use it. And once it's used it, it will regen and then immediately discharge it into whatever driving you're doing. And essentially turn the vehicle into a regular hybrid, just like a classical Prius. And that's absolutely fine. It's not sophisticated. They could have done more, but they wanted to make
I didn't understand that.
Nobody was talking to you. Samsung did an update to my phone the other day, and now this Bixby crap is running in the background. Like, don't need it. Um, it is, and it works for him. The reason he got this is that actually his commute, which involves going to the swim club each morning, coming back via lunch and coming back to the house before plugging back in, is 30 odd miles. He often comes in at 1%, and that's, it does its job. And for most people, like this would work for my old commute. I was only 12 miles in each direction. This would have given me an electric form of getting where I was going without any major issues. Would I have a minivan that was 100% electric? Yes, I absolutely would, and I want my VW bus as soon as it comes in. I'll order it. I'll be the first to put in a reservation the minute they announce it. No would. The ID4 is gone. I don't need. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but I don't need extra car payments and extra cars on the blacktop that aren't going anywhere. I have to insure them and tax them. I don't need that. I would make my daily driver the ID bus or buzz or whatever we're going to call it in a heartbeat, because I like fast cars, but I want a sustainable vehicle that works for my family. And this is the halfway measure to that. It's electric for 90% of what we do, but when we have to go to the city and that battery runs down, then we're still going to get there. And it's still pretty efficient. Like I said, 35 miles per gallon is a regular, no battery driving mileage. It also comes with the benefit of having the being able to use the HRV lanes. The stickers are still good on this for another year. Let's talk about the driving. First of all, this is not a Porsche. It's a minivan. It handles like a minivan, but a really comfortable minivan. And I can't stress that enough. This is a comfortable driving car. It really is. The range of motion in the seats is great. They're fairly supportive. If I have one complaint, it's that the armrests aren't really that high enough to actually put my arms on. But then, I have the dimensions of a fat giraffe. That's not the normal. Here we are pulling into the beautiful HOV lane, so quiet as we go over Teletubby Hill, over towards Fremont. No, this is a great vehicle. This isn't a press car. It's full of all the crap of family life, including London's car seat, which lives in here permanently. She has one in this car. My shirt's hanging up right now because I'm performing tonight, and I'll want a clean shirt for that. But we've hauled furniture in this. We've done all the things you do in a minivan, including filling it up with children before the pandemic and going to parties. Christmas, even during COVID, when we had the Winter Wonderland experience, was moved to a drive-through thing. Everyone was in here. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and that's what this vehicle does. So, in summary, 30 to 32 electric miles, recharges of a 6.6 kilowatt charger, so you can actually fill the thing in about an hour and 45 minutes is the average, 2 hours. Really, really inexpensive to run in that regards. The build quality is fine. I find the AC can sometimes be a bit noisy, mechanical, but that's the most minor of things compared with anything else that could go wrong. The space in the back is incredibly usable. Yeah, it's a pity that we had to give up the stow and go and that extra space. You can still actually remove the seats. They are removable. I've done it in the past to make extra room for stuff when required. And overall, a very pleasant place to be. And I mean, look, you can even drive it and produce a video while doing so. And that's kind of perfect timing, because as I'm saying that, the battery has gone to zero and the engine has taken over, and you really can't hear the difference. it is a nice place to be. So look, with that, along the way in the edit, I will put in some footage of the interior of the car and the outside, so you can get a better feel for it. If you would like to know more, if you agree, if you disagree, if you think that this was a cop-out, and it was, this is a compliance car, but one that works, and it's a helpful introduction to getting people on this journey, that's fine. That's what the comment section is for. Otherwise, please like and subscribe to the channel. It changes everything for the channel as we try and grow it. Whatever you do, be safe.